Happy 3, 2, 1. Happy Friday. It's the final day of July 31st, 2026. Ooh, look at that. You know, I think that looks a lot like the U.S.-Mexican border under Biden. Oh, no, they are. Yeah, Zach pointing to one of the cable reports right now showing video of España, Spain being overrun by Moroccans, thousands, by the tens of thousands. They've overrun the border. They're just running into España right now. It does kind of look like the U.S.-Mexican border under Joe Biden. Happy Friday. I am Sergio Sanchez, the Sergio Show, the Sergio Show on 710 KURV. Show producer, Zach Cantu. I got some audio for you here, Zach. Let me see, cue this up. 3, 2, 1.
Elon Musk about to make a massive investment to.
Oh, by the way, this is you recognize it. This is CNN.
Elon Musk about to make a massive investment to boost Republican turnout for the midterms. It's a big bet, and Axios is breaking this news just now.
Lefties, Axios. Lefties.
And Axios is breaking this news just now. Musk's representatives are declining to say just how much Musk is planning to spend, but they told Axios the number is expected to be high. Now, obviously, Musk is the richest man in the world.
But, he's got a lot more money now.
So high could be absolutely anything. And just the only context we have is that he spent more than $250 million in the 2024 election. Out front now, Alex Eisenstadt,
all right. They're scared that he might be spending about $100 million for the midterm. You know who else spent about over $100 million? And I don't remember seeing the clueless communist news network CNN making a big stink about it. Yet the actual communist, George Soros, he spent like $106 million in the 2024 cycle. And then there's Hollywood. And, they got all sorts of PACs. Hollywood, a bunch of lefties. You guys who have a Netflix subscription, well, congratulations. You're helping to bankroll the current salary of Barack Hussein Obama and Muchel. Because, they're producers, They're producers. But one of the co-founders for Netflix, Reed Hastings, this is easily... thank God for search engines. You can find this real quick. Reed Hastings, the co-founder of Netflix, as we say around here, Netflix. We enjoy watching. I do not have a Netflix subscription, but some of y'all know watch Netflix as you're eating your cornflakes. This dude, Reed Hastings, co-founder at Netflix, $7 million in the last election cycle. Was it for Republicans? No, it was. All of this is all Democrats, all lefties. It's for Kamala la Mala. And you guys don't even think twice about that money leaving your bank account to pay for your Netflix subscription. You probably didn't even see it this past month. Breaks my heart to see that J.J. Abrams is in the mix. Producer J.J. Abrams with a partner of $3.3, almost $3.4 million. Yes, all for Kamala la Mala and a bunch of Democrat candidates. From DreamWorks. You know that company, that great entertainment, DreamWorks. Jeffrey and Marilyn Katzenberg, $3.2 million. Yes, for La Mala. And a bunch of crazy lefties. All these nouveau communists and cultural crazies. The ones that or represent the great think tank that is running the Democrat Party these days. The ones that are wanting injections for kids to suppress their hormones and chop, snip, the little Frankenbeans and change their sex, little kids, all that crazy stuff, and, boys, girls sports, all the crazy stuff that only comes from the modern Democrat Party. Yeah, I didn't see any reports from the Clueless News Network, which definitely in this case showing off their true colors, the communist news network, CNN. But Elon Musk, he might be spending up to $100 million in this election cycle. You need to know about this. Ding, ding, ding. He's a bad guy. No, it's right. Just like it was for Reed Hastings, J.J. Abrams. George Soros, again, George over $100 million. Oh, and of course, there's always Steven Spielberg. I love his work, his film work. But Steven Spielberg, $3.1 million in the last election cycle for, yes, Kamala, La Mala, and all these Democrat crazies that are dangerous. Dangerous to our American culture that is constantly under fire from foreigners. But the enemy is within the gates. They're within now. What we suffer from is short-term memory in our nation. Americans, we suffer from short-term memory. I'll give you a couple of examples. Here we are just, several weeks away from the anniversary of 9/11. There's a move in New York City. There's a move to prevent Mayor Mamdani, El Mendado, Mamdani, the communist, the radical Islam, Jew-hating, America-hating, capitalist-hating Mamdani, New York mayor. They voted him in. He's a legitimate mayor of New York City because you think that New York would remember, but they haven't. And this is the case for all Americans. I'm like, we suffer from short-term memory to our nation's detriment. Not that far removed from 2001, 9/11, America's, they looked away. They became so enamored with Barack Hussein Obama. They looked away when it came to his Islamic roots, childhood, and some of the Islam propaganda peddling that he was acting, overemphasizing, overselling, regularly exaggerating the role of Islam in America's founding and early development as a nation. Yeah, I was part of it. Just like I'm sure Sikhs were a part of it. Everybody came to America. Anybody. Buddhists came to America. But that Barack Hussein Obama overemphasized, oversold, exaggerated the role of Islam in our nation. I tell you what, you listen to the Marines fight song, and you'll hear how our Marines on the Barbary Coast, they were killing Islamic pirates. Now, that's part of Americana from 200 plus years ago. Not what Barack Hussein Obama was peddling and selling, but they became so enamored, our nation became so enamored with Barack Obama, they forgot 9/11. In 2008, November 2008, it didn't matter. They forgot about in 2001 and voted him into office. And there you go. We had 8 years of nothing but constant lies, propaganda on the role of Islam in the development of our country. And we looked away from that as well, thankfully. I'd like to think most people did. Oh, he's just talking up his, what's important to him. Less than 25 years, again, Americans, all of us suffering from short-term memory, but you think that the scab, painful scab, would still be tender, even 25 years, less than 25 years after 9/11 in New York City. After all, New York City was ground zero. Less than 25 years after 9/11, the city of ground zero voted a America-hating, capitalist-hating, Jew-hating, radical Islamist to lead that lost city of New York. Maybe this is a representation and an expression of the sad reality of how New York is so far left that the money base, the leadership base, the common sense business base of New York has moved away to Florida or New York, and all you have left are low information fools, a population of sheep, lemmings that are easily swayed and persuaded. So Zoran, Sohan, whatever his name, Mamdani is Mendado. He's now leading New York City, less than 25 years. And there's a move in New York City to prevent him from participating in any remembrance of 9/11. Americans, we suffer from short-term memory to our nation's detriment, easily swayed by any type of propaganda, and the American press is not helping. Let me see if I can find the latest on polling data. There was a report that was released by Fox. Now, we're in the middle of the campaign here in Texas. We're not done. I know this is a shocking number for some, but it is way, way too early to make any noise about polling data. But it is a bit surprising right now that at this moment where there is a lot of lack of proper information and proper description of the candidates that are involved, we know a lot about Ken Paxton. I think Texans don't know too much about James Telefrico. Latest poll right now from Fox News. Let me see if I can cue this one up.
Fox polling shows Democrat James Tallarico with a 3-point edge on Republican Ken Paxton.
Which, by the way, is interesting because that 3-point edge has Telosico at 51%, north of 50. That's very interesting. That's a Fox News poll, by the way. Paxton at 48. Now, I don't know if they discounted all the undecided individuals that are in the... So there was a Democrat poll a few days back that had Telosico at 45% and Paxton at 40%, with almost 30% of independents still undecided. And that base was moving towards Tallarico right now at a time where Ken Paxton has not properly introduced and described who James Tallarico is. There's still time for that. It's now August, Ken. We're in August now, Mr. Attorney General. I know you're still running the AG's office, and like in the news today from the AG's office, he's going after the Mission Hospital and the Weslaco Hospital for how did we call them? Let me see if I can find it. It's in the news. These birth tourism. Thank you, Zach. Alleged birth tourism schemes, all linked back to some billboards in the region, whether they were near the border or on the other side of the border, advertising to Mexicans. Primo, vente. Bring your ruca over here. Bring your pregnant wife or girlfriend. Have your baby on the U.S. side. So there was an uproar about this about 2 weeks ago. That's local advertising, some billboard, and the Attorney General of Texas is investigating this alleged birth tourism schemes. Pushback from Mission saying that they advertise legal medical care. They said that Knapp and Weslaco did not participate in this campaign. So that's what the Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton is busy doing right now, just in other cases that he's brought forth. But Ken, KP, buddy, what was running your campaign? I know you got some money. You need to start going on like these internet cable TV channels. Yeah, the Netflix and the Primes and all the Tubies. You need to start advertising on there and show James. There's a reason he's called Telefrico, because of the freakish, crazy ideas that he continues to express in private behind the scenes at fundraisers for the modern Democrats. This guy is a political freak, ideological freak. He is a fan of the transgender crazy ideology, snip, cut, little Frankenbeans of little boys to make them little girls. He believes in that. That is protection for that class of people. He's in that camp. He's in the camp, but he will be in the camp. If he's voted senator, he will be advocating for little boys who get their, whether there's 15 or whatever, 4, just lunacy, crazy town USA, and allow them to play in girls' sports. He's in that crazy camp. But because Americans suffer from short-term memory, that's not that long ago. 2024, the last election cycle, one of the reasons that Kamala lost and all these Democrats lost is because we, as an American public, who at least slightly the majority of us still apply common sense to issues like this. We still love these people. We still love these kids. We do not accept their crazy revolutionary cultural upheaval that they advocate for, these lies, these crazy ideas. No, we don't advocate for that. We don't defend that. No, it's common sense politics. Part of the reason that it lost in 24 is because of that. All this crazy propaganda they were peddling. They are still there. But because we suffer from short-term memory loss, I'm afraid we got too many people answering these polls wrong. Tallarico, 51%. Ken Paxton, 48% right now, Fox News. Greg Abbott, 50%. Gina Hinojosa right behind at 49%. Don't forget the ideas, the issues, the ideologies, the lies, the crazy town, political crazy town USA things that they advocate for. Time is 9:22. Zach, let me pay some bills real quick. And then we'll go to Jared. Time is 9:22. The Sergio Show on News Talk 710 KURV. This hour, the program is service of Chamberlain Roofing and Waterproofing, ChamberlainLTD.com. That's right. They'll be jockeying for first place in the American League Central. Pretty much all teams at 500. Astros hosting the Rangers. Game time tonight after 7. Broadcast on your station for Astros baseball, 6:45 tonight on News Talk 710 KURV. Hope you can join us. Let's go to the nation's capital. And Jared Halpern, Texas Rangers fan. I know who he's pulling for as he watches the Astros and the Rangers this weekend. Let's talk about President Trump and the peace deal announced with those Hamas terrorists. They're willing to disarm, I understand. So what can you tell us about what the president was talking about on social media yesterday?
So this is part of that board of peace that was created more than a year ago, if you recall, to kind of end the Israeli war against Hamas in Gaza. It freed the hostages. It set up a civilian led government in Gaza, but the sticking point has always been Israel was not going to withdraw until there was a civilian government, until Hamas disarmed, and that a stabilization force, kind of a peacekeeping force made up of regional forces, was established. This would be the first step in doing that, with Hamas saying that it will disarm, leave the territory. There are still questions about how quickly that will happen. There have been differences of definition on kind of what full disarmament means and what it looks like, this amnesty program that is being set up for Hamas members. And Israeli officials remain very skeptical that this is going to come to fruition, but it is notable that they have reached this agreement. It seems to be tied certainly to what is happening in Iran. Recall, Hamas has long been a proxy of Iran, has gotten a lot of strategic support and a lot of money from Iran. Much of that now has been cut off because of the U.S. and Israeli-led war. So I think that is one of the reasons that maybe this got pushed forward when it did, when you look at the timing. All that being said, there are still a lot of officials in Israel and even some here in the U.S. who remain skeptical that Hamas will remain good to its word.
I wonder how many of them are left. And yes, the many questions. I was thinking before this report, you said leave the territory, like leave where, go where? And then do they stick around, just put on like a traffic cop uniform and become the police of civilian police of the new territory that is still rebuilding and needs to rebuild? Well, what is next on that to-do list on this peace commission committee that is hoping to bring lasting peace and rebuilding and a better life for all those folks?
Well, this is the big thing. I mean, this has been what has stalled anything from moving forward in Gaza is this commitment by Hamas to disarm. So if that were to happen, what you would see then is the redevelopment, the rebuilding of Gaza kind of take place. The Board of Peace would put in place a civilian-led government. Those officials are kind of already there working with this Board of Peace on implementing that. It would create a stabilization force, which is international troops coming into Gaza, mostly from Turkey. Some of the Middle Eastern countries have agreed to join. And they would then be responsible for training a Gaza security force. And kind of as each benchmark was met, Israel would agree to further withdraw kind of further and further away. But again, Israel is going to want an awful lot of assurances before they completely leave Gaza. And there are still conversations about perhaps creating some sort of security buffer, what that would look like, what the size of that would be, who would patrol it, things like that. So this is a first step to be sure, but many steps certainly to follow based on that 20-point plan that President Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu put forward last year.
Okay. On the legislative side, and what the Senate is voting on or rejecting from the House side, how many more days will they stay in D.C.? I saw some online posts that they'll insist that the Senate stick around and keep working. So what on the legislative side, what are they doing, if anything, getting anything done?
So the Senate's done for the week. They'll come back on Monday. They probably won't stay beyond next week. I mean, you got members that are pretty antsy. They got to start campaigning. If you're, one of these Republican incumbents trying to fight for your seat, you really do need to get back to your home state here in short order. But primarily what they are trying to accomplish here next week is a funding bill, extend government funding past the election. The House has passed a plan that would fund the government into December. The Senate is working on a companion bill to do the same thing. If they can get that done, that would be a good place, I think, for John Thune to kind of cut everybody loose without this kind of looming countdown clock of a government shutdown.
And the House is done, right? They're already on recess?
They
right?
are. They'll be back the first or second week of September after Labor Day.
Wow.
Again, I think what you will have to see then is the House and Senate then kind of syncing up. They're going to have different versions of this spending bill. The spending bill that the House passed includes things in it that the Senate is not going to go for.
Yeah.
And so if the Senate can kind of pass their bill, kick it over to the House, that then would allow a little bit more runway to kind of work out the final things to kind of get both sides on track, prevent a government shutdown before the end of the year.
I was asking you about the House because I saw evidence overnight, a flyer for our incumbent Monica de la Cruz, Republican here in my area of the Valley and north of us, with Mike Johnson, Big Mike Johnson, just north of us in the Corpus Christi area, doing some campaigning together. They were announcing that for by reservation only. So, yeah, they're out there, as you said, chomping at the bit. They need to get back on the campaign trail. Everybody running for office right now in the House. All right, pal. Astros and Rangers this weekend. Who wins this series?
Rangers take 2 of 3.
Híjole. Of course that you would say that. All right. I wish I could do a fun wager with you, but I don't know how to get paid on that one after the Astros sweep the Rangers this weekend.
Yeah.
All right, pal. Big hug to you. Have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy the Rangers game. That's Jared Halpern for Fox News up in D.C. Time is 9:32. The Sergio Show for a Friday. This hour made possible by Chamberlain Roofing and Waterproofing, ChamberlainLTD.com. What an amazing value. Man, when you got the top dog and whatever it might be, any service that is provided in the area. And when you got the top company saying, well, I'd like to meet you and know that I'll be here for you in case you want to call in the future. And Johnny on the spot, competent, cross-trained, culture of safety, excellence in the name of Chamberlain. Chamberlain Roofing and Waterproofing just wants to meet you as the property owner or the property manager. They offer an amazing value for free, gratis, no expense to you. These experts in roofing systems for companies, for warehouses, for commercial strips, they'd like to shake hands with you, send their expert crews up there, fully insured, send their expert crews, fully trained on safety issues. Just let them go up there and see, look around, snoop around. Yeah, check, see if there's any weak spots in that roofing system. Water is very heavy. Last thing you need in the next gully washer is to have an Olympic-sized pool of water that's being retained because things are clogged up there, or there's a weak spot and then it starts coming in, eroding, and pop, there goes the roof coming down at you. That's what you're trying to prevent, to save money, to save lives and heartache as well. Chamberlain Roofing, Waterproofing, they want to inspect your roofing systems at your companies for free. Meet them today, 956-655-6178.
The year keeps on moving forward, and your business can too. Now is the perfect time to advertise and get ahead of the competition. Take advantage of our marketing team that'll help you create a personalized marketing plan and let thousands of people discover your brand through the power of 710 KURV, social media, streaming, and our digital platforms. Don't wait for your competitors to get there first. Reach new customers and get everyone talking about your business. Call us today at 956-992-8895 or visit radiounited.com.
Are you in the market for a new Toyota or pre-owned Toyota? Look no further than Toyota of Far. They have extensive selection of Toyota cars and Toyota trucks and Toyota SUVs, along with exceptional customer service every step of the way. Number to call, 956-815-2285.
This is a fraud alert. It is a crime in Texas for a person to solicit an accident victim for purposes of legal representation. If you have not requested the call or personal visit, report this crime to the Texas Rangers.
Freedom is calling, and the savings are bigger than ever at the Toyota Far Freedom Sales Event. Drive home an all-new Tacoma for just $92 a month, a powerful Tundra for $177 a month, a stylish Camry for only $92 a month, or a versatile RAV4 for just $189 a month. Visit Toyota Far at 1625 West Interstate 2 in Far, shop online at toyotafar.com or call 956-815-2285.
Toyota Far, somos buena gente.
For victims of drunk or drug driving, your grief is unique, but you're not alone. You'll always have a place at MAD. Call the 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
Fox News, I'm CJ Papa. President Trump meets his cabinet shortly at Camp David, but is the U.S. military running out of weapons?
The Center for Strategic and International Studies is posting a concern about the depletion of U.S. armaments since the start of the war in Iran. The center is saying that some key weapons, such as Patriot missiles, interceptors, are at less than half the supply, the stockpile that they were before the war. Pentagon spokesman pushing back on that concern.
Fox's Steve Harrigan in Tel Aviv. President Trump says there's a deal to end the fighting between Israel and Hamas in Gaza. Hamas says it will give up its heavy equipment, but Israel must commit to stop the killing and violations and withdraw from Gaza. The Michigan primary is Tuesday. Democratic Senate candidate Abdul El Sayed campaigns today with Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan Omar in Dearborn. America is listening to Fox News.
Your 710 KURV AccuWeather forecast. Sunny much of the time today, breezy and hot. Highs from the upper 90s to 105. Still breezy this evening, otherwise partly cloudy, warm and humid with lows in the lower 80s. Partly sunny, hot Saturday, breezy in the afternoon. Highs from 100 to 106. Mostly sunny, very hot again Sunday. Highs 101 to 106. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Jason Caterina on the Valley's official weather station, 710 KURV.
Broadcasting from the Valley's commercial and fleet headquarters studio at PayneAutoGroup.com. You're listening to News Talk 710 KURV. The Sergio Show with Sergio Sanchez. Rapid fire headlines.
one of the bigger stories, well, around here, and also has roots back to Austin, as the Texas Attorney General, Ken Paxton, still on the job. He's running for Senate, but he's still on the job. And one of the headlines was, well, he's going after a couple of hospitals, investigating a couple of Valley hospitals on the issue of birth tourism. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, he said he launched an investigation a couple of days back into Mission Regional Medical Center and Knapp Medical Center. Of course, Mission and Knapp and Weslaco. The investigation is rooted into alleged birth tourism schemes. This after a few days back in the news, and it made it all the way to Fox News and other news channels. Billboards here in the area, probably on this side of the river, maybe even on the Mexico side, but I think they were on this side of the river. Billboards in the area that promoted packages, childbirth packages, and a campaign, for example, Have My Baby in Texas, a pushback from Mission Regional saying they advertise legal medical care, and that Knapp, Weslaco Hospital, had nothing to do with this alleged birth tourism scheme, the advertising in the air. So the AG office investigating this. A couple of other local notes. This from Los Fresnos CISD. Board of Trustees selecting a finalist for their superintendent position. 25-year education veteran Joseph Villarreal in the city of Mission, which, by the way, you'll get a chance to hear from our mayor in Mission, Mayor Nori Gonzalez Garza, at about 10:45 on the Sergio Show. We usually play the big interview of the morning at that time. Mission's Mayor Nori Gonzalez Garza making it official this week. She is running for re-election. Cryptocurrency fraud cost Texans about $56 million last year, and now lawmakers will be looking at this in the 2027 legislative session. Got some audio for you, Zach. 3, 2, 1.
The Texas House Homeland Security Committee searching for ways to crack down on financial fraud from adversarial foreign nations. Step 1, block the primary vehicle. Crypto kiosks. Those are the ATM-like machines located in convenience stores that can be untraceable. Jesse Salcio is the deputy director of the Texas Department of Banking.
Typically, they're sending it to an unhosted wallet. That unhosted wallet then gets into a mixer, it gets into all these other things, and it's very hard to get any of that back.
Texas ranks second in the nation in both the number of elderly fraud complaints and total financial losses tied to the scams that rely on the kiosks. There are an estimated 4,000 of them in Texas. In Austin, Chris Fox, News Talk 710 KURV.
A cyber attack on U.S. water systems in the state of Minnesota might be linked to Iran.
A senior law enforcement official telling NBC News that a cyber attack on more than 30 municipal water systems across Minnesota this week points to Iranian-backed hackers, though the official cautions the forensic analysis is still in its early stages.
Reporter Chris Pallone, officials say that one reason Iran is suspected is that the goal of the attacks appears to be to disrupt operations and services, not to collect any payment. Consumer sentiment jumped in the month of July as inflation was easing earlier this month. The Trump administration is winning praise for addressing a key supply chain shortage. That would be truck drivers.
A new Freedom Haulers initiative making it easier for military veterans to become commercial truck drivers. This addresses a major shortage in Texas and nationwide.
Senior drivers are retiring. A lot of younger folks have not found an interest in driving truck.
Texas trucking consultant Dr. Joe Michael says when companies cannot find drivers, there's a ripple effect. Products get stuck in expensive warehouses instead of being placed on store shelves, and that drives up prices to consumers. Michael Board, News Talk 710 KURV.
This interesting note from New Jersey. Detectives are looking for two men who broke into some collection stores and stole thousands of dollars worth of Pokemon cards. It's amazing how many thousands of dollars some of the older cards are worth. U.S. News and World Report is not that impressed with the state of Texas. In fact, they have listed Texas around 25, 26 on their list of best states. But in the state of Texas, they're laughing all the way to the bank because of the economic figures.
A U.S. News and World Report magazine best state ranking puts Texas at number 26 overall, even though it claims the number one spot for the economy. Despite having nation-leading job growth, GDP growth, net migration, and youth population growth, Texas took a hit on the list, citing education and health care. Utah was named the best state, while Louisiana was named the worst.
Sharks, or as we call them here in San Carlos, sharks. Sharks are being added to the Ocean Observing Toolkit to help forecasters better track hurricanes and the threat of hurricanes.
The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration is tagging sharks with sensors to collect real-time information about ocean temperature, salt levels, and direction of currents.
Helps you understand how strong a hurricane, how intense it's going to be, potentially like maybe what direction it's maybe going to go.
Marine ecologist Aaron Carlisle says when the dorsal fin breaks the surface, the sensor data is transmitted to a satellite and then downloaded by the National Hurricane Center.
It just makes you able to make much better predictions about the impact and the hurricane dynamics of something that's roaring towards the coast.
Karen Curtis, Miami.
What? They barely decided to use sharks for that telemetry. That's a good idea. This reminds me of that cable series or movies. What was that? Sharknado, the tornado with sharks in it. Yeah, this hurricane with sharks. So would this be a sharkicane or something like that, right? FDA's recalling millions of eye drops because those eye drops are likely not completely sterile.
Nearly 12.5 million bottles of Roto cooling eye drops are included in the recall. The FDA says they were sold individually and in 2 packs and include a number of varieties, including all-in-one, max strength, and optic glow. This is what the FDA calls a Class 2 recall, which means the products involved may cause temporary, reversible effects and serious health consequences are unlikely. You can learn more about the recall and the products involved on the company's website. I'm Daria Albinger.
And more unsettling news, nightmare fuel for you. You guys keep up with information like this. Check this out. A few days ago, we heard about an AI like attacking another AI. Well, that wasn't the only one. Here we go. A second artificial intelligence company confirming that its artificial intelligence program hacked into another computer system.
Anthropic admits its Claude AI models Opus 4, Mythos 5, and an internal research test model breached 3 organizations. Claude was supposed to be offline, isolated, and unable to carry out such cyber attacks.
Oh, man.
The news comes a week after OpenAI said one of its unreleased AI models did the same thing. The breaches at Anthropic were found during a large-scale cybersecurity review that was ordered after the OpenAI glitch. I'm Rory O'Neill.
The time's 9:44. The Sergio Show on Newstalk 710 KURV. Thank you to our supporter this hour. Thank you to Chamberlain Roofing and Waterproofing. It's like my radio son, Zach, today's producer and host of The Drive Home on 710 KURV, 4 to 6 p.m. Someone had to nurture that evil in him. Someone had to nurture that genius in him. And I'll take credit for that. The evil radio genius that is Zach Cantu. Join him 4 p.m. today. The Drive Home on Newstalk 710 KURV. And then a little bit after that, the Astros hosting the Rangers at 6:45. Go Astros! It's the fight for first place in the American League Central Division. All these teams that are powerful, even Steven, 500. That's the American League Central. Astros hosting the Rangers tonight, 6:45, made possible by Dr. T's Primary Care for Men and Women. Are you in the market for a new Toyota or pre-owned Toyota? Look no further than Toyota Afar. They have extensive selection of Toyota cars and Toyota trucks and Toyota SUVs, along with exceptional customer service every step of the way. Number to call, 956-815-2285.
Summer is almost over, but your chance to become a millionaire isn't. Choctaw Casino and Resort Durant has already made 2 Lucky Rewards Club members millionaires this summer. And there's still $1 million prize left. Is it yours? Your final chance to bring home $1 million cash is on August 22nd. So play with your Rewards Club card to earn entries for the grand finale drawing. Get away to it all at Choctaw Casino and Resort Durant, where millionaires are made.
Trust, price, and ease of transaction. That is GiveMeTheVin.com. We love to buy cars. People don't trust car buyers. People think the price is going to be wrong, and people think it's going to be a hassle. Trust, price, and ease of transaction. That is what we do at GiveMeTheVin.com, and that's what makes us America's best car buyer. Go to GiveMeTheVin.com right now and get a quote on yours.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
When's the last time you checked your roof's condition? Is it hurricane ready? It's predicted